So we are discussing the concepts of inheritance, interfaces. So in the previous class, we have seen the definition of an interface, as well as we have seen the declaration as well as implementation of an interface. So in order to implement an interface, we need a class. A class can implement the interface. An interface cannot implement itself. So an interface consists of a constant values or abstract methods. So in the latest versions of Java, uh, it supports the default methods as well as static methods. That means, so within the interface, we have the definitions, we have the method definitions that can be possible through by using the default methods as well as static keywords. Default and static are the keywords. So by using the keywords, we can have the method definition in the interface itself. And then we have seen the nested interfaces. We have two variations in the nested interfaces. So those are an interface within the class, an interface within the another interface. So we have seen some examples also, and then we have seen the static methods as well as default methods. So then the next concept is lambda functions or lambda expressions. So these are comes under the methods. So lambda expression or lambda methods. So lambda expression or lambda methods is a special concept introduced in the Java SE8. The latest versions of Java, this concept has included. So the main purpose of lambda expression is to implement the interface method, So those interface methods are known as interface functionalities. So in order to implement the interface functionalities, we need a lambda expression. In order to implement the interface expression, we need a lambda expression. That means we need a lambda method. So this is a special concept introduced in Java version 8, Java SE8. So Java SE8 is a standard version. So in this edition, we come across the so many methods and so many predefined classes has included in this version, Java SE8. So this is the one feature, lambda functions or lambda expressions. So this is one type of feature in Java. So it supports the concept is used in the interfaces. So in order to implement the interfaces, we can use the lambda expressions. That means the method can be defined whenever we need. The method can be implemented or defined whenever we need. So based on the lambda expressions, we can implement the method whenever we need. So let us see the concept of lambda function. So the syntax is this one. The syntax of lambda function is this one. The syntax is parameter list, operator, lambda operator, and body. Parameter list, that means int a comma int b. This is the lambda expression symbol. Hyphen colon arrow mark, that means greater than, hyphen greater than. So this is the symbol of lambda expression. So whenever we encounter this symbol, it means that we are using the lambda function. So we are using the lambda function. So this is the syntax: parameter list, lambda expression symbol, and body of the lambda function, and the definition of the lambda function. This is the body. So let us check the one by one. So the lambda expression, so this is an expression, or we can call it as a method, lambda method. So for this we have 0 argument, 1 argument, and 2 arguments. That means this is the parameter list, this is the argument list. So this argument list will be either 0 argument. That means we can pass the value or we may not pass the values. So for example, if you want to if you don't want to pass any value, means we have to do the empty braces. So this is the symbol, and then in this body we can write something system.out. out dot println. So this is the hi. So this is one lambda expression of no arguments. So this is the lambda expression of no arguments. That means we are not passing any value. So we are not here. We are not passing any value here. So that means we have to give the empty braces. So if you want to pass any value, means within the braces we can give the data type int a. I am passing the single value and then lambda symbol, and then I am returning a into 10. So this is one lambda expression. So this is one lambda expression. I am passing the single value, single variable, single argument. So if you want to pass the multiple arguments, int a comma int b, int a comma int b. Then here I have the body of the method. So body is, suppose for example, I will calculate the return a plus b, return a plus b. So I am calculating the a plus b. So the lambda function ends with the semicolon. The lambda function ends with the semicolon. So if we have multiple statements in the body, we have to give the flower braces. Flower braces. If we have single statement, means we don't need any curly braces. If you have multiple statements, we can give the curly braces. So this is all about the lambda, simple definition of the lambda functions. So let us so move on to the examples. So let us see this one. So this is the symbol, lambda function operator symbol. Lambda function operator symbol is this one. So then body of the lambda function. So we have two parts. First one is parameter list, lambda function, and then body of the method. So body of the lambda function may consist of one or more statements. We have any number of statements. So enclosed between the flower braces. If there is only one statement, the braces may not be used. If more than one statement is present, curly braces is used. Curly braces must be used. So this is the basic things. And then some examples with 0 argument, 1 argument, and 2 arguments. So if you want to pass the 0 argument, so this is the syntax. Empty braces, empty braces. So this is the lambda operator. So if you pass the one single argument, means data type m, lambda operator, and printf statement. So more than one argument means separated by comma, lambda symbol, and some operation within the braces. So here remind this one. After the expression, there must be a semicolon here. There must be a semicolon here. Before closing the curly braces, we must have semicolon. So after this also we have semicolon. After this also we have to keep the semicolon. So 2 times we have to give the semicolon. So this is the end of this expression, and then so this is the end of the entire expression, entire lambda method. So we can see the examples. We can get this one. Then rules for writing the lambda function. So there are some rules in writing the lambda function. So let us see one by one. So a lambda expression can have 0, 1, or more than one parameter. So the lambda expression can have any number of parameters to pass, any number of arguments to be passed. Either it may be 0 parameters, or 1 parameter, or 5 parameters. Any number of parameters can be passed through the lambda function. So the type of second one, the type of each parameter has to be written individually. That means int a comma int b. The type must be written individually. Int a comma int b. So you cannot write the int a comma b. We have to write separately int a comma int b. So in that way we can pass the parameters in general methods. So same can be followed in the lambda methods also, lambda expressions also. If the type is inferred from context, the type need not be mentioned. So the type is already given in the program, then we don't give the type also. We can simply pass the A comma B. We don't give the data type also. Next one, if there is more than one parameter, they are enclosed in the parentheses and separated by comma. So if you have 5 parameters, means 5 parameters are separated by comma, int A comma, int B comma, int C comma, like that. If there are no parameters, means empty parenthesis is used. So empty braces should be used for no parameters. We are not passing any parameters, means we have to give the empty braces, empty parameters. So this is the basic syntax for using the lambda functions. So let us execute some programs. So let us see the example here. So my screen is visible. The program is visible to you. So let us check the usage of lambda functions in the real world. Indeed. So any issues? So let us see the program. Simple lambda function usage. So the main purpose is to implement the functional interfaces. To implement the functional interfaces. So there is a concept of functional interfaces in the interfaces. So that means functional interfaces means the interface consists of constant values and methods, abstract methods. So that method can be implemented. That method can be defined in some other place. We cannot define the method in the interface itself. That is abstract methods. So there is a concept of functional. So there is a concept of functional interfaces. So functional interfaces. So functional interfaces uses the concept of lambda functions. So that's why we are discussing the lambda expressions. So what is lambda expression? What is the syntax of lambda expression? So those and all we have seen. So we can use the lambda expressions in the functional interfaces. Functional interfaces. That means we can call it as target method also. We can call it as target method also. So let us check this program. So here what we are going to do. So here I am defining the one interface name. Function one is the interface name. And then here I am defining some abstract method, void display. So the display method definition has not yet given here. So this is the abstract method. So this is a valid interface. So this is a valid interface. So the program is correct up to here. Then, so in order to implement the interface, we need a class. We need a class. So I am defining the class lambda1. I am defining the class as lambda1. So generally what we will do, the class implements function one. So we can write the program like this. Simply, or this can be written as class lambda1 implements function one. So this is the syntax generally we will follow. So this is the syntax. Class lambda1 implements function. So in order to implement this interface, we need a class. So we need to create a class. So this can be avoided whenever we use the lambda functions or functional interfaces. So functional interfaces, there is a no need of creating one class and implement the interface method. So if you want to implement the interface, we need a class. We need to define the class. In that class, we will implement the methods. In that class, we can define the each and every abstract method. So without that, we can, by using the Lambda methods, we can easily implement that method, abstract methods. So in the Lambda functions, we have only single abstract method. Here, we have only single abstract method. So if you want another Lambda function, if you want to use another Lambda function, means we will create another interface. So each interface must implement only single abstract method here in order to use the functional interfaces. In order to use the Lambda functions, we need only single abstract method. So here simply I am defining the class here. I am not implementing that method. I am not implementing this interface. Simply I am creating the class. I am defining the class. So in this class, I have public static void. So I have not yet implemented the display method, this abstract method. In general, we will implement this by creating the another class. So here I am using the Lambda function. So there is no need to create one class for implementation. So let us see this one. I am creating an object F of type interface, functional one F is equal to, so this is similar to creation of object. That is, let us see the syntax. So what is the function one space obj1 is equal to new class name lambda 1. So this is the syntax generally used to create an object. So to create an object, we will use this syntax. Function 1 obj1 is equal to new lambda 1. So this is the general syntax we will use. So whenever we will use the lambda function, we will follow the syntax. Same thing. So right side, left side part is same. Left side part is same. Left side, this is the left side part. This part is same. So we will modify the right side part. So we will modify the right side part. So in the right side part, we will assign the lambda function. We will use the lambda function. We will use the lambda function. That means we are assigning. So we are using the assignment operator here. Assignment operator here. That means assignment operator means also we will follow the right to left associated. We can't follow the left to right. We will follow the right to left. That means right side function will be executed first and it can be stored in the left side part. That is the assignment operator. X equal to 10 means 10 is assigned to X. 10 is assigned to a variable X. X equal to 10 means. So this is the syntax. So here is equal to functional one. Object name is equal to. So we are now creating the lambda function. Lambda function. Syntax is parameter list. What is the syntax for lambda function? Parameter list. Within the braces, parameter list. Lambda's operator. Then braces in this body. In this body. So this is the syntax for creation of a lambda function. So let us see, check here. So braces. Here braces. So braces means empty parentheses. That means we are not passing any value. So here we are not passing any value. So that's why we are given the empty braces, empty parentheses. And then lambda operator. And then I am printing. So this is the method definition. So this is the method definition. So this is system.out.println empty argument lambda. So it ends with the semicolon. Then we can access this with, through this one. F dot, here object name is F. F dot display. F dot display. So this is the simple program to illustrate the lambda functions. So let us check the output. function. So the class name is lambda1.java. So Java lambda1. So the output is, so the, we are printing the display method, empty argument lambda. Empty argument lambda. So we are printing this one, empty argument lambda. So this is how you can implement the lambda function. So what is the difference between general interface program and this program? So do you understand the difference between general program and this program? అర్థమైందా మళ్ళీ చెప్పమంటారా? సో రిపీట్. సో ఇప్పుడు జనరల్ గా ఏంటంటే మనకి ఒక చిన్న ప్రోగ్రామ్ చూడండి, మీకే అర్థమవుతుంది. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి. సో జనరల్ గా ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఏం చేస్తున్నామో చూడండి. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేస్తున్నామో లాంబ్డా ఫంక్షన్ యూజ్ చేయడం వల్ల అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఏంటో చూడండి. ఆ డిఫరెన్స్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయండి. సో ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే నేను జనరల్ గా ఇంటర్ఫేస్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తాను. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఎలా డిఫైన్ చేస్తాను? ఇంటర్ఫేస్ సేవ్ చేయండి, కలర్స్ వస్తాయి. new1.java. సో ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అనే కీవర్డ్ యూస్ చేసుకుని ఇంటర్ఫేస్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. సపోజ్ inter1. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద ఇంటర్ఫేస్. సో ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఏమంటే కాన్స్టెంట్ వాల్యూస్ ఉంటాయి. ఇంకేముంటాయి? అబ్స్ట్రాక్ట్ మెథడ్స్ ఉంటాయి. వాయిడ్ డిస్ప్లే. సో ఇది ఇలా ఇంటర్ఫేస్ డిఫైన్ చేసుకుంటాం. సో ఇది ఇంటర్ఫేస్. సో ఇక్కడ డిస్ప్లే అనేది మెథడ్. ఆ మెథడ్ డెఫినేషన్ ఇక్కడ రాయట్లా మనం. ఆ మెథడ్ కి ఏంటి డెఫినేషన్ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఏదో system.out.println ఇలా ఏదో మెథడ్, ఏదో డెఫినేషన్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ మెథడ్ కి ఒక డెఫినేషన్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఆ డెఫినేషన్ మనం ఇక్కడ రాయట్లేదు. ఇలా ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లోపల డెఫినేషన్ రాయకూడదు. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ డెఫినేషన్ అది. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లో ఎప్పుడైనా సరే కాన్స్టెంట్ వాల్యూస్ కానీ అబ్స్ట్రాక్ట్ మెథడ్స్ మాత్రమే ఉండాలి. సో ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఇలా డిఫైన్ చేసుకోవాలంటే ముందు కీవర్డ్స్ ఉండాలి. డిఫాల్ట్ కానీ స్టాటిక్ కానీ ఈ 2 కీవర్డ్స్ యూజ్ చేసుకుంటే మనం ఇలా డిఫైన్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో జనరల్ గా కీవర్డ్స్ లేవనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాం? ఇక్కడ డిఫైన్ చేయకూడదు. ఈ మెథడ్ ని ఇక్కడ డిఫైన్ చేయకూడదు. సో ఈ మెథడ్ ని డిఫైన్ చేయడానికి ఎక్కడ డిఫైన్ చేయాలంటే వేరే క్లాస్ లో డిఫైన్ చేయాలి. సో ఇది ఇంటర్ఫేస్ డిఫైన్ చేయకూడదు. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లో యూజ్ చేసిన మెథడ్స్ కి డెఫినేషన్ రాయాలి. మెథడ్స్ ని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయాలి. అలా ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడానికి ఒక క్లాస్ కావాలి. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లోపలే మనం ఆ మెథడ్ ని డిఫైన్ చేయలేం కదా, అందుకని చెప్పి ఒక క్లాస్ కావాలి. ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ ఎనీ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ we need a class. So here I am defining the class circuit implements. You can use the keyword implements inter1. So this is the class. So here we are going to write the method definition, that is void display. We can write the definition. We can write the some body. We can close and we can close the class. So this is the general implementation of any interface. Suppose if you treat this as the main class, then it will have the public static void main string args. So we have the public method also. That means Here we can create the objects. In order to access that display method, we need an object. So how do you create an object? By using the class name or interface name. So here interface name is inter1. Inter1 space obj1 is equal to new class name. So class name is circle. So this is the creation of an object. By using this object, we can access the method obj1 dot display. So this is the general syntax followed to implement the interface, to use the interface. So here extra thing is this one. So extra concept is this one. To implement an interface, we need a class. That means extra burden, extra work. So we need to create a class. In that class, we have to define the abstract methods. So that is one problem. So in order to reduce that one, in order to reduce the lines of code and burden to the compiler, the lambda functions can be used. Functional interfaces can be used. So lambda interfaces means, lambda functions means this one. Here we don't, here we are not implementing anything. So there is a no keyword implements. This class implements function one. So that is not written here. So we are not going to implement anything. So we have defined an interface here. We have defined an interface, but we are not defining that interface. In order to define that interface, we need a class. So class circle implements function one. But we are using the lambda function. We are using the lambda function. That means we don't need to implement the that method. That method can be implemented whenever it is required. Whenever it is required, we can use the lambda functions. We can define that abstract method. So that is possible by creating an object. So we are creating an object of f of type interface one, that is function one. And then in the right side part, we have to define the lambda function. So in the right side part, we have to define the lambda function. So it means that, so lambda function refers to the interface. It refers to the interface. It refers to the interface. So lambda function syntaxes we know. So we are not passing any parameter, empty braces. If you pass the parameters, we have int a comma int b, and then lambda operator, and then some printf statements. We can end this with the semicolon, and then we can invoke that method by using the object f dot display. So this is the simple one. So same program can be implemented in general also, but lines of code is increasing, and burden on the compiler also increases. In order to reduce that one, lambda functions are included in the Java SE8 version. So you can see one more program, you will get to know that. So let us see this one. So here I am using the nested interface. The interface is placed within the class. So here I am defining the class lambda. Here I am defining the class lambda. So in that class, I am defining the interface. In that class, I am defining the interface arithmetic. So this is the interface. This is the interface. So in this interface, I have defined the method compute of type int. So it can pass the parameters int a comma b. So the inputs for compute method is a comma b. So the compute method is abstract method. So the definition is not placed here. So the definition is placed somewhere else. So now we are using the lambda function. So we don't need any class to implement that. We can implement that while creation of that object. So let us see. Then public static void main. So in the main method. So in the main method, we can create the object. So I am creating an object A1 of type arithmetic. So arithmetic is a interface name. And arithmetic is an interface name. Interface name space A1, object 1. A1 is an object. I am creating here 3 objects, A2. I am creating the A3. I am creating 3 objects, A3. So for 3 objects, we are creating 3 lambda functions. We are creating 3 lambda functions. So let us see. First one. Let us see this one. Lambda function. How the lambda function is created. So parenthesis, parameter list, A comma B. So we don't give, we have not given the data type here. Why? Because already A is defined to int, B is defined to int. So there is no need to again give the data type here. If you want to give, you can. But already we have given the data type here. So there is no need to give the data type here. So we have passed in the parameters A comma B, and then within the braces we have passed the parameters. Then we will use the lambda symbol. This is the lambda operator. And then within the braces, we have the body. We have the body of the interface. So the body is, the method is compute. If you give the 2 values, it will return some value. That value is an integer value. That means return A plus B. I am performing addition operation. Return A plus B. I am giving the AB values. You will perform that function and return the C value. Return A plus B. Semicolon, semicolon. So this is the one lambda function. I am creating an object of type arithmetic A2. So in this, I am passing the 2 values, A comma int B, lambda symbol, and returning multiplication, A into B, A by B. So I am calling the objects. I am invoking the methods, A1.compute, A2.compute, A3.compute. I am passing the parameters. I am passing the parameters A1.compute. So this is very simple. When compared to the general interface program, so if you return the lambda function while creating an object itself, then it will become very easy. So lines of code, LOC, also decreases. So this is one simple program. So do you have any doubts in this? Creation of a lambda function. So let us move to another example then. So lambda 3. So let us check this program. So I am creating a class. The class name is lambda 3. I am creating an interface. So this is also nested interface. I am creating an interface arithmetic. So I am defining one method, compute. So this is the abstract method. So the method definition has to be there if you use the lambda function at the time of creation of an object. If you don't use the lambda function, the method definition is there within some class. So public static void main. Then I am creating an object A1, A2, A3. I am creating 3 objects of type arithmetic. Arithmetic is an interface name. 3 objects. So here I am passing the parameter compute. Compute method passes the parameter 1. Only single parameter is passed. That is A. If you pass the single parameter, we don't need the parenthesis. Here, generally, this is the syntax. Int A, semicolon body. So if you are passing the single parameter, means we don't need the parenthesis here. We don't need the parenthesis here. Simply we can pass the parameter. So A, lambda symbol, return 5 comma A, 5 into A. So it performs the multiplication 5 times. So this is the first object we are creating. Next we are creating another object A2. So here we are defining the some variable. So this is the local variable. So this is the local variable. That means the variable access is within this block only. The variable access is within this block only. Block means parentheses, flower braces. So I am defining some local variable x is equal to 20. Next, I am returning the a into x. Already a value is passed through the method compute a into a, and we will perform the local variable also. We can create the local variables in the lambda function also. So in this program, we are going to illustrate the local variable declaration in the lambda function. Next, I am creating the another object a3. So here I am creating the one lambda function, a lambda operator. I am creating some local variable x, and then I am returning the some square root sqrt. That means sqrt is a method, math is a class. Math is a class. So the class is defined in the package util. I think util or lang, LANG. Then we are performing the square root of a plus x. So a value is passed to the function and x value is defined locally. And square root will be displayed. So this is the syntax for creation of an object or creation of a lambda function, functional interfaces. So these we can call it as functional interfaces. Then I am invoking the methods a1.compute, a2.compute, a3.compute. So let us check the output. So in the previous program also we have not checked the output. Java lambda 2. So we are getting the output. So this program is lambda 3.java. So I'm getting the output. So let us check a1.compute. So a1.compute means return 5 into a. So here I am giving the a value as 6. 6 into 5, 30. So I am getting the output 30. Next a into x. I am passing the a value as 6. 6 into 6 into 20. 6 6 are 36. 36 into 2. 36 2s are 72. So 720. And then I am creating the square root of a plus 6. So a value is 6. 6 plus 30, 36. Square root of 36, 6. 6 6 are 36. So that is the output. So this is the usage of lambda functions. So do you have any doubts in this? So this is the usage of lambda functions. So any doubts? So you can practice it, practice these programs. So all these things we have discussed. So next concept is functional interfaces. So next concept is functional interfaces. Functional interfaces. So that means there is a method called function. So there is a method called function. So in the util package, we can import the method function. So in order to implement the functional interfaces, so we need a method function. We need a class function. Import java.util.function. So then, so in this package, so many methods, predefined functional interfaces are defined. Predefined functional interfaces are defined in this package, java.util.function. So those things are known as functional interfaces. Functional interfaces. In order to use the functional interfaces, we need a lambda function. We need the lambda function. So functional interfaces are interfaces with one abstract method. Functional interfaces are interfaces with one abstract method. That means we have only one single abstract method. We don't have multiple abstract methods in an interface. So these we can call it as SAM, single abstract method type. SAM. We can call simply SAM methods, simple abstract methods. However, functional interface can have more than one static or default methods. So abstract method should be one. We can have any number of default methods, any number of static methods, but abstract method is only one. So we can use the annotation also. This will come in the next class. Annotation at the rate. So if you define anything, so like comment at the rate functional interface. Whenever if you use the functional interface, we can have the annotation functional interface at the rate functional interface. So this is all about the functional interfaces. So we have so many predefined functional interfaces in that package java.util.function. So we have these so many predefined interfaces, predefined functional interfaces. We can use the predefined interfaces in our programs. So all these things are defined in the this package java.util.function. So we have consumer, we have predicate, and we have binary operator, and we have function. Like that, we have so many things. Suppose here we have used the TUR. So TUR are nothing but data types, type of the variables, int, double, string. So that type of things, data types are represented as capital TUR. So you can use the consumer method, and we can use the binary operator method, or we can use the predicate method. Like this, we have so many predefined methods. By using that, we can implement our programs very easily. So these we can known as functional interfaces. Functional interfaces. So you can practice these programs, functional interfaces. We have some consumer interface, consumer functional interface, supplier functional interface. Like that, we have so many things. So we can practice that programs. So this is all about the functional interfaces and Lambda functions. So these are very much useful in the real world applications. So all these things will be placed in the package java.util.function. So in today's class, we have discussed the functional interfaces. In order to know the functional interfaces, we need a Lambda functions. We need a Lambda functions. So today's class, we have seen the importance of Lambda function and syntax of Lambda function and usage of Lambda functions in the real-time programs. And then we have seen the predefined functional interface, some predefined functional interfaces. So we have so many programs on this, we can practice it. So do you have any doubts on this? So if you have any doubts, let me know. So, okay, in tomorrow's class, we will discuss the annotations. So that is the end of the interfaces. In tomorrow's class, we can conclude the interfaces. Then we can complete the third chapter in interfaces. So, okay, thank you.